What up, campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Monday afternoon to all of you. December 2nd. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. In 19 minutes, we're going to be joined by Maxwell Smart, breaking down each and every one of the 13 NCAA games on the card. We also have a huge Monday night football game. I got 19 minutes to talk to you about the Monday Nighter, to go over my NHL and NBA play. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Take it easy in the house. We got Vinny Cornell, Jimmy CC, WOB, Deerslayer Ski, DX Filer, AM says, what a crazy Cagliari game. I hope we all cash. So AM handing out winners. Steve Overlay took the over 48.5 on the game. Any thoughts? I still haven't pulled the trigger on anything in this game. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Initially, I was going to be on the over, but have held back at this point. We'll keep talking about it. There is AM Jeff Billings in the house with the kindest of messages. Jeff, I was looking at our Sharks future that we got a plus 2,000 on the Sharks to win the division. They're right there to win the division, and it's still plus 1,000. It's very confusing. I wish I had to put more than $100 on it, but Jeff handing cash to me. Thank you for the very kind words, Jeff. Very, very kind. Moses Saucedo, Yenny Toon in that. We got Big E, Jim Rome Seduce, Cater You by Chef Jeff, liking the Hawks team, total over. Brooklyn, Funk Project, Von Polo, Dolo, Fat Fist. What a great, great group. Nice. Jeff Billings took Rangers first period. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm on that as well. There's Not Flash On. There's Triple Beam Dreams. We'll be watching Delaware live. Oh, wow. Wow. Nice. Are you going to be there at the game? Oh, live in play. Okay, sorry. I thought you were going to be there in the stadium. Okay, great group. Great group. Let's get after it. Let's get to work. There's Cody AV in the house. Much love to you, Cody AV. Well, let's just quickly go through NHL and NBA, and then we'll talk about the Monday Nighter, because At this point, I guess I'll just take the Vikings money line at this point. I have interest in the over. I don't want to pay for the plus 3. We've seen this total go down to 48.5, so the under is now getting hit, which is surprising to me because the weather's gorgeous. Well, I mean, it's 42 Fahrenheit, but it's still no wind. The weather's nice for the Pacific Northwest tonight. And at this point, I'm looking around. I see Vikings at plus 135 at U-Wager, 145 at Bovada. I'm surprised that the under is being hit, and it does make me hesitate. Right now, the over 48.5 is almost even money at Pinnacle in 5 times. Which I find that strange. Let's go over NHL, and AM says Seahawks destroy. Really? There's Melee Payless way in the house. Gonzalo, thank you for joining me, my friend. Gerald Jones, Red Girl. The team is back in action, and I'm very thankful. All right, let's move moves here. Devils, Sabres, Domingue starting for the Devils. That was about the only surprise in net over these throughout for these games. We knew Varlamov was in because Grice is sick. I guess not. I guess those of you who are backing the Blues may be a little uncomfortable that Allen's in goal and no Binnington. Those of you who like the over in that spot, why don't we get there? Why don't we roll through? Deerslayer Ski says Pacers should crush tonight. All my actions first period and first quarter, but I like it. Let's break this down. We're going to start with Devils Sabres, and we're going to be quick. We have 16 minutes until Maxwell Smart will be joining us. So we'll make very quick moves throughout this card. Let's go to Devils, Sabres. The total originally was juiced to minus 120 to the over 6. It's now just minus 106. Oh, that's 5 dimes. Sorry, I moved over to 5 dimes for Max. Let me go back to Pinnacle. Not that big of a difference, but let's move back to Pinnacle here. The over minus 117, so not that big. 13-cent move towards the under. Buffalo opening up at minus 132, now minus 123. Domingue doesn't, there's Polo this, Polo that in the house. Domingue doesn't have a ton of skill, but he's a character guy that people like, people believe in the dressing room. Blackwood is not stepping up and taking that number 1 spot. The Devils seem to be a mess. Do I want to back the Sabres at home in a possible letdown spot? I mean, you're getting the right number at minus 123, minus 122. Take it easy, says Allen isn't bad. 2.2 goals against average, 934 save percentage. Allen's not bad. But those are his numbers, in his last 5 starts. So overall, 2.68 goals against average, 914 save percentage. Jeff Billings loving Golden State first period, first half, and full game, all money line. Wow, Jeff, that's big time. Okay, let's just quickly run through this here. The Sabres are appealing at minus 122. Devils are coming off very angry, discouraging loss. Let's just take a quick look at this lineup. What happens to their lineup when they're missing key players? Let's go right now and just take a quick look and go down the New Jersey Devils lines here. So you have Hischier, Palmieri, and Bokvist. Coleman, Zajac, Guserev. Taylor Hall down to the third line with Pavel Zacha and Jesper Bratt. Wayne Simmons on the fourth line. What's happened to this team? We had such high hopes for Nikita Gusev. He's done so little. Severance and Green. Then Vatanen and Subban that we thought was going to be a strong defense. Red Girl leaning towards the Devils. Chris Brady in the house. If I had a free play right now, I would take the over. I find it interesting to see that it's coming down. Fatfist says Buffalo minus 130 is a decent spot. Daryl Lyles liking the Devils. Fatfist says Sabres for me. I'm surprised that with Louis Domingue in net, that the Sabres are minus 120. It doesn't make sense to me. And sure, this might be a letdown spot, but you have to think with Domingue in goal, you have to think that these Sabres get after him. Let's just take a quick look at the depth chart for the Sabres. I might add the Sabres. Eichel, Reinhart, Olofsson, Mittelstadt, Johansson, Vesey. They're just that one line. Well, Larson, Sheary, Skinner isn't terrible. I don't want to back them without Dahlin. That's the big problem. They don't have their stud defenseman. All right, I'm staying off. I'm staying off. Titty Sauce, play of the day off to a 2-1 start this week. Bonus barbecue sauce, Titty Brasilia. Serie A, Vasco da Gama. Moneyline plus 155 starts in 20 minutes from our guy AM. Yeah, Cole Coleon says line's too low. I like my card, and I'm not going to add. If I was given a free play, you know what? I don't want anything to do with this game. I don't want to take the Sabres without their best defenseman. But they played well against the Leafs without their best defenseman. There's my guy EJV in the house. All right, I'm on the Rangers first period at plus 110. I think this is a tricky spot for the Knights. I think it's a tricky spot for Malcolm Subban. Madison Square Garden. I'm not saying the Rangers are a better team. I just think first period, Rangers been on the Eastern Seaboard for a long time. I'm taking them at plus 110 to win the first period and first period only. Let's see what I would get if I jumped on it right now. There was a 115 being hung at Bet Online, which I couldn't quite understand. And is it still there? No. So the best you can get is at Pinnacle plus 110. That's the only 110 on the board. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I'm on the Red Wings first period. I got that at plus 150, and that hasn't changed. So you can get that at plus 150. I don't like the Islanders' spot here. After 3 games on the West Coast, they fly back for just 1 game, a 2-0 win over Columbus, and then they move over to Detroit. The Red Wings are very susceptible on the penalty kill, which is 72.2%, but the Islanders' power play is not strong. It hasn't been strong for a while. There's my guy Stat Guap in the house. I'm on Red Wings first period at plus 150. Those are my only plays. Blues, Blackhawks. I made over 5.5 at minus 115 here, but it was minus 130 at my book. Let's just see what it is at my book right now. So I've made this an official play with the 5.5, but I did not bet it at 6, and I wasn't going to pay minus 130 for it. Let's see what it is now. And it's same where it is right now. Over 6 plus 105. That doesn't interest me. That doesn't appeal to me. David Hutton going with Kings money line, Blues money line, and puck line, Islanders puck line, and Rangers money line. Going to copy and paste that. I like that look on the Kings. I'm not going to take the Kings on the road, but they have to step up. They simply have to step up. On the road, 2-9-1 on the road this year. They play something like 17 of the next 25 games on the road. This is a nice road spot. And David Hutton almost took Rangers reverse run, puck line. Yeah, I mean, Jim Rummy was surprised how many people were liking the Rangers. With Zibanejad, they're a good hockey team to me. And there's my guy, Omar J. Legend in the house. Thank you for joining us, Omar J. We have 10 minutes before we will be joined by Maxwell Smart. Yenny Toon pounding on the under 6. Wow, and that Rangers. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Yenny. And there's not flush on. Russell Wilson over 21.5 yards, rush yards. Oh, that might be a great play. That might be an absolutely great play. Plus 2,200. I love it, Jeff. I love it so much, Jeff. I also think that we're going to get a pretty nice hedge at some point. And I don't think it's going to be with the Oilers. I don't think the Oilers will be there when push comes to shove. I think the Sharks will have to beat them. But all right, so Blues, Blackhawks. You know, and let's see. Let's take a quick look here and see if Duncan Keith will be in the lineup for the Blackhawks. Very important defenseman. Thank you, Ilio, my guy. Top set in the house. And look, Dan Kelly, Memphis Grizzlies, team total under 103.5. Going to copy and paste that right now. Quick copy and paster. Put that under David Hutton's action. Put that actually under Nutflush Island. Nutflush Island, I find that very appealing. Here, look. So Carpenter, Kane, DeBrincat. See what somebody heard me bitching about Dak. See, they pulled him off the line. They're going with just 11 forwards. There is no Duncan Keith in the lineup. They're moving Carpenter with Kane and DeBrincat. Then Taves with Nylander and Sayad. God, I don't know what the hell Colliton's doing. Don't know what the hell Colliton's doing. All right, I'm off of the Blues. Well, I took the over 5.5 for show purposes. I'm not betting it. Then Kings, Ducks. You know, type of situation you could get talked into both teams means stay off. Simple. Simple spot for me. Ronnie Chris said, I'm off this Blues game, but lean Chi-Town and over. You want Duncan Keith in the line. And there's Al Mack in the house. Chris Carson, first TD, plus 700. Fatfist says, do you like Wings over 2.5 goals at plus 110? No, not against the Islanders. Not against. The Islanders are a very good defensive team. Do I think they'll get? Yeah, sure. If I had a free play, sure. But I'd rather have the Wings go all over them early in the first period on the big plus 150 line. Ronnie Christie says, yep, I'm going to tail that betting right now. Not flush. That does sound good. All right, that's my NHL card. 2 plays, 2 first periods. I'm very excited. Let's move on to NBA here and take a look at the market move. I was interested. I was interested in the Hornets. A lot of people talking about why they like the Suns in this spot. There still are 2 5s, one at Heritage, one at Bovada. It'd be 4.5 at Bet365 if I was to bet it. I'm going to stay off this spot. Suns, Hornets. Suns, Hornets. Mally Mal looking for information on Valanciunas. Yes, and I'm sure that's part of Dan Kelly's move here. I will give you the latest on Jonas Valanciunas. Let's move over to NBA. And here we go. No word there. Wow, Alan Crabb, ill, sick. So Bembry's going to get extended run. Who's going to move over to the 2 with all the injuries the Hawks have? Wow, that's wild. Reddish will be available to play. Okay, they're going to need him bad. All right, so let's quickly get over to see what's going on here with Valanciunas for my guy, Mally Mal in the house. All right, let's take a quick look at what we are dealing with here and see if Jonas is going to be in the lineup. And questionable. Still questionable. Still questionable. Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark already ruled out. Still questionable. Von Polo likes the Hornets. I like the Hornets. But I'm not making a move. I took the Jazz first quarter money line at plus 140. Let's see what I would get right now on that Utah Jazz first quarter money line. Can't get a plus 140. That makes me feel good. There's a plus 138. Whatever. 2-cent move. I will take it. Jazz first quarter money line. They got it. Oh, wow. Aaron Baines ruled out tonight. Says our guy Ed in the house. There's W.O.B. in the house. Oh, Shaft, much love to you, my friend. Just really nice to be with you guys. Stephen Dollar says, so you like the over 5.5? Yeah, I do. I think that the Blackhawks are going to be susceptible in the back end. And if that's the case, the Blues are going to score a few goals. So that means the Blackhawks have to score to be in this game. So, yeah, I do. If I could get 5.5 at minus 115, I'd take it. But it's not worth taking a minus 130 or minus 125. That's just how I feel about that spot. All right, Warriors, Hawks. We've already seen Jeff Billings be very, very bullish with his Golden State Warriors tonight. And we know that there will be no Draymond Green. That worked for me the last time I did it. And look, Jeff saying, Jimmy, I took the Suns first period and first half. Wow. Ronnie Christie says Knicks is a nice look. Jay Money said go fourth quarter or third. Polo this, Polo that says Knicks getting 17.5 is appealing. Look, I'm on the Knicks first quarter, 5.5. I'm on him. There's my guy Nasty Nate in the house. Hank Mooney says, yes, let's get to that NFL game. So let's get through this quickly. I'm on Knicks first quarter plus 5.5, minus 107. I'm putting a lot of faith in Dennis Smith Jr. and Kevin Knox to be strong and for these Bucks to come out a little sloppy and not care very much. Still 5.5's on the board, but I could get a bit better juice at minus 104. Bit better juice. Polo this, Polo that says Sixers are not good right now. Jazz money line is a great look. Pacers, Grizzlies, I'm off. I just don't want to have giant road favorites in my pocket ever. Ever. Oh, man, I love it. Not Flush Allen. Love it. Says, quick, proud moment when Skylar said, Dad, did you hear about the guy from Cincinnati who bet on his team? Then proceeds to say you should tell him about the show. I love that. Jeff Bunny says, I've been right with Golden State so far, and I was right with them against the Jazz. You absolutely were, and you put money in my pocket. There's my guy, Kevin Taylor, in the house. Canascat in the house. Wow, you're really getting a 5.5 minus 110 in Bovada? Wow. Let me see. Here we go. Full game. Bovada. See, I've got a 6 at plus 105 at Bovada. Yeah, if I was getting 5.5 minus 110, I'd take it. I would. I'm on the Bulls first quarter money line at plus 129. So those are my 3 plays in NHL, or 3 plays in NBA, 2 plays in NHL, all first quarters and first periods. I'm excited about today's card. Let's move over to this big football game. Wow, it's down to 48 at Pinnacle. Why is the under being hammered? Has the weather changed? Why is the under being hammered? And at what point do we say it's a mistake? No wind. Warm night. I said 42. We'll go down to 42, but it'll be like 45, 46. Wow. Why is it being hammered? RMK says 5.5 all over the place. Really? Let me refresh this because I do not have that. Let me refresh this. Go down to NHL. I have 5.5 at Pinnacle and 5.5 at Heritage. That's it. If a 5.5 comes up in my book, I'm going to take it. There's Anthony Mastronardi in the house liking Vikings money line. That is the play that's most appealing right now. I do not need 2.5 points. And I get 3. You know what? I don't want to. Let's just see what I would have to pay. Sorry, I'm just copy and pasting Corey Simmons action right here. Copy and pasting Corey Simmons action. Corey Simmons is on the under 50. Great number. Also on St. Louis, Chicago, over 5.5. Islanders minus 1.5. Ducks, Kings under 5.5. Hawks minus 6 in NBA and Kings minus 5. I like it. Al Max says primetime games 26-13 to the under so far this season. Young Abu Dhabi says, fuck that, Jimmy. He says over seems likely. Look, there's a lot of great cappers here on the under. There's my guy Keith Sadler in the house. No request, ready to get to work. Yu Cheng Yu says, Minnie's a better team. Seattle's better quarterback and coach. Going with the Russ effect. Ronnie Christie already locked in Seahawks minus 2.5. TJ Warren over 16.5 for Corey Simmons. That makes sense to me. TJ Warren's been on a great run for the last 4 games. He's hot right now. That makes sense to me. Even that game that he didn't get over. I think there's one game he only scored 16, but he hit the game-winning basket in that. Anthony Mastronardi says Seattle hasn't covered at home all year. Hank Mooney says, Jimmy, should I make a bet to cancel out the 25.5 under for the first half? Just got a feeling that both put up 14 at least at the half. You know, I wouldn't, Hank, because all this money's coming in on the under right now. So, look, it's down to 23.5, Hank. I mean, you're beating a line move by 2 points. I think you should just feel good about yourself. Yes, Fat Fist, I will put my NBA plays in the chat, but it is time to bring in our guy. Yes, Young Abu Dhabi, I'm on first periods, 2 first period plays of plus lines. 1, Rangers plus 110. 2nd, Red Wings plus 150. Wow. Yeah, no, Corey Simmons, I like the look. Deshaun Sampson in the house is back dealing Bulls first quarter, real sharp play. Bulls don't finish. Always seem to start off fast. They've been brooding since Friday. since they lost to the Blazers Friday. I like it too. And Deshaun Sampson rolling with me feels good. Feels good. Corey Simmons says move to starting lineup. Yeah, I think so, Hank. When you beat the line move by 2 points, I think you just feel good about it. Stevie Steve says over in 48. I'd be very interested to hear if Max is making a move on it. Why don't we start with that with Max, see if what he has planned to do for this football game. I do think that, you know what? I think Nut Flush Allen has a great look here with Russell Wilson over 21.5 yards. Yu Cheng Yu says, why is the under being hammered? Great offense this night. These defenses are both injured and ranked lower, third overall. I love it, Dan Kelly. Okay, let's bring in, and there's Imp 13420 in the house. Let me copy and paste my guy, Imp. And Shaft says, Max, well, Smart, let's bring him on. Rafa, my friend, could you roll our guy, Max's intro?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell, my man, how are you doing on this Monday evening, my friend?
First off, Jim, I'm wearing some fantastic college basketball attire, James Madison, Nevada Wolfpack, and I'm just glad to have you back. I'm excited to have you back. I've had some great hosts sitting in your chair, but I'll be quite frank with you, Jim. None of them have been able to meet the freaking grade. So I'm glad to have the ace, the pro, the all-star back in the seat, ready to throw me these games, and let's serve up some of my icy cold favorite soup to our bookies tonight.
Oh, there's my guy, Maxwell Smart. I'm in the process of getting Max's official plays from Tuesday to Friday that I missed. Also, Max is putting in now official low bag plays on the weekend, which I'm excited about. So I'm in the process of moving those plays over. But thank you, Max. I'm very excited. And I love having a nice card that's not too big, that we can hammer each and every game individually. We're going to start with the games that you are already on. We're going to see if we're going to make any additions, and then we can have questions come in from the chat. Max, my man, let's bring open this first look. Our official betting with the bag plays. I'm going to copy and paste them right here and move them over to our worksheet here. And let's start with the first one on the docket. We know that Matt Randall is on North Florida, but you have taken the under 144.5 in this game. Let me move over to NCAA basketball on the best odds page in the business. Spreads and totals here. Oh, wow. Jeff Billings, DK Metcalf, anytime touchdown. I like that too. And you're already on the Wilson over rushing yards. Okay. Nilo said, my wife didn't miss your voice, Jimmy. Yes. You know what, Nilo? I'm just happy that you cap with us, and I will never say anything negative about your wife. She can hate my voice as much as she wants. Okay, let's go to this North Florida spot right now. Pull it up. High Point, North Florida. So I'm over at Pinnacle. I'll move over to 5 times. Pinnacle opened it up at 144 minus 115, so they haven't moved this total at all. But 5 times, Bookmaker, even Heritage is taking it down a full point. You are on the under. You got it at 144.5 at minus 106. Why are you on this under, Max?
Yeah, this is a game where I think that we're going to see North Florida really try and play some clamp down defense, and this is more a play on the number. I think that with High Point, you really have to take into consideration what they've done so far this season when it comes to offensive output with the body of work. And aside from this Eastern Washington game, they haven't been able to go over 65. So I obviously know that they played a D1 team and they scored 90 points against them, but that just inflates their stats, and I try and discount that. I'm looking for North Florida to make a big comeback tonight, and I think that if we actually watched some of that Tennessee State game, we knew that Tennessee State was able to run up and down on them. They were able to get their shots where they wanted, and the defensive perimeter attack just was lacking. I think that obviously you are going to do better with Garrett Sams in the lineup, who returned after, I think, 3-game absence. He poured in 16 or something points like that. But I think that you really have the emergence of of a North Florida team that is scoring efficiently close to the rim, even though that they do have some power from the three-point line. But I think that they're doing it with defense. Good defensive rebounding, put it in transition, take what the defense gives you. And I think that against High Point tonight, High Point's best bet is to slow this game down, allow Curtis Holland to do his business, let John Michael Wright do his. But in the end, I think that High Point is able to grind in this game. I don't think that they cover the spread because they are averaging 18 turnovers a game with about a 0.55 assist turnover ratio. That's not going to get you buckets. That's going to take lots of time off the clock. That's going to mean that your offense is taking a long time to get into motion. I think that there is a significant advantage with North Florida in the first half coming off the Tennessee State win. Tennessee State lost, just from a situational spot. By the numbers, I have them having a 9-point first half advantage, but it's all about the three-point shot for North Florida. In the end, they can do stuff with Wahid Aminu and Carter Hendrickson, but if you don't have JT Escobar and Ivan Gandarosa hitting at least those 10 threes a game that they're averaging, I think that we're good for this under. I'm hoping that it doesn't. I'm hoping that they don't hit these threes. I think that the offensive performance has been a little subpar at home as far as by the numbers, but the competition's been good. And I agree with Matt Randall on this full game, but I'd be looking more towards the first half.
The first half is what you'd be looking towards. Let's take a look at what we get for that first half. And don't worry, you guys, we're going to go over each and every game on this card. And the first half, North Florida opened at 8. You can still get it at 8 at minus 120 or 8.5 at minus 105 to hurt High Point. But your official play is the under 144.5. You're going to keep it at that?
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Obviously, we're going to be on the live line tonight, you and me, Jim, and there'll be lots of time to jump on some stuff and get some live plays going because I've already hit a money line dog today in Hofstra plus 125.
I heard you're getting props from these cappers in the chat. Great job. Dear Slayersky says, no NHL for me, but my first play, a run in an NFL game. Okay, and we'll have Dear Slayersky rolling with us too in the chat, so we'll be making moves in this. Speaking of which, Max, have you made a move on the Monday Nighter?
No, I haven't. To be quite frank with you, Jim, I haven't even looked at it. I probably couldn't even tell you who the two teams playing are.
It's okay. You have your role to play, and your role is hammering college basketball, so we love it. There's my guy, the big guy, Bubba, in the house. And Chris Temple says Clowney and Reed are both out for Seattle. Sorry, very quickly, I thought we got word that Clowney was going to be in for Seattle. Did that change? I was told that Clowney was going to be in, and has that changed? Sorry, I'll take a look at that. I'll see what I can find there, but I was told that he was going to be in, so I need to look into that, Chris Temple, my guy. Okay, the next look, and we're going to go over Max's first 5 plays that he locked in earlier, and then we're going to go through the card for additions. The next game is the Elon, Kennesaw State Elon. Let me move to full game spreads and totals and see how Max is handling this spot with Elon, Kennesaw State. Not a lot of movement on the total, 135 to 134.5. You are on this under. Break down why you like the under in Elon.
All right, well, the under was a play pretty much against Kennesaw State. You have a team where you have 4 guys that are averaging 8-something points per game, and Tyler Hooker is just not the same player that he was this last year. I think it obviously has to do with pace. There's a lot less depth being used on this team, and for Kennesaw State, it's just not a pretty performance that they're putting out right there. If Elon blasts them at home, which I do think that they will, I think that Elon will be able to score 75 to 80 points, but I don't know if Kennesaw State breaks 50. So that was my thinking behind the under. It also coincided with my created line and gave me at least 2.5 points of value. And Kennesaw State, when it comes to defense, 47% from the 3-point line is not going to cut it against Elon and Marcus Sheffield and Hunter McIntosh and Hunter Woods and company. I think that Kennesaw definitely has an advantage on the offensive rebounding glass, but I think that Elon at home is going to really be able to get to the free throw line. They're going to be able to hit free throws. They're going to be able able to hit the 3-point line where they have a plus 13% advantage already, not even including the defensive advantage that they have over Kennesaw. I think that Elon's a good play in the first half. I have their numbers winning up to 7 points in the first half, and I think that they're going to create enough turnovers tonight to be able to cover the full game spread. So, Jim, I'd actually like to make an addition to my card, and I'd like to take Elon full game. I do understand that a lot of tickets and a lot of the money is on it, but from what I've watched at this Kennesaw State, and I've watched 2 games of them, and what I watched at Elon, this is a good spot for Elon to blast somebody. And coming off a couple hard losses at home by the likes of Manhattan, a blowout to Furman, and a tough loss to UTA, I think tonight they get right. It's a revenge situation for Kennesaw State, but I just don't have any faith in them being able to cover this number.
All right. And, okay, so we're going to give him the Elon edition. Chris Temple says Clowney will be in no play tonight. Interesting. So that's interesting because the news we're getting is that we're expecting him back, but Chris Temple could be right. I mean, this is a core injury. So interesting. Kyle Fergus, I'm going to put my NBA plays in the chat right now. Noli Knows is backing this under, says dead under Kennesaw State Elon. That's enough for me to want to pull the trigger with you guys. Okay, so
I will point out, Jim, however, Elon has been playing a lot of overs at home just based on the numbers, but you see the number rising. So they're trying to – I think that the bookmakers are trying to figure out where they can line them to get equal action, but I think that tonight they've gone a little too high, and I think that based on the opponent, they're not taking that into consideration. So definitely you got to take what they've done with a grain of salt. But I think that you have to look at who they're playing against, and tonight that's a good play for us to get on the under. Just wanted to point that out.
I am going to get on the under with you. I gave you a -7. I could get you -7 and -110. Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll take it. I do see a 6.5, but it is a little too juiced for my liking. So.
Oh, let me see that. Sorry, let me make sure I'm logged in. And I am.
It's on William Hill. That's why.
Okay, because I've got William Hill at -7. Let me refresh
okay,
this.
so I must have a skill line.
Let me just refresh this. Yeah, I've got Elon. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, I've got Elon at -7, -110. Okay, so I'm gonna give you -7 and -110. I'm going to tail the under that both Noli Knows and Max are on. And so Pinnacle does not want you to bet the under. It's 135 at -123. So they're going to leave it at -135 so you don't bet it. I'm going to take the 134.5 at -110. That's available. Market Heritage has already moved it down to 134. -134.5 at -110. That is my first edition of the card. Okay, Max, we have a question from Nilo in this Illinois-Chicago UIC versus San Diego game. Illinois-Chicago up 12 right now at the half. Up 12 at the half. I know you're keeping an eye on this game. This is a big surprise. I mean, San Diego was 4-point favorites, 3.5, and down 12. What do you think the look is as a live play situation? At my book right now, if I wanted to live play it, let me get there right now. I can get San Diego at +7.5. I could get San Diego at +330 on the money line, and the total has moved up to 145.5 from an opening number of 134. Anything there that you like?
Yeah, I'm on this game already 2 ways. I took Illinois-Chicago +3.5, and I took the over. I think I got 132.5 live. This is a game where if you're looking to now and you've already watched some of it, you've seen how efficient Illinois-Chicago has been from the field. To get into the bucket, to get into the free throw line, and they got into the bonus early. I do think that the scoring will slow down a tad, but I do think that if you're looking to get on this spot live, you got to take a shot with San Diego, or you got to take a jump and a leap of faith with them +330 on the money line. Preferably, I would watch the first 4 minutes, sacrifice a little bit of juice or maybe a couple points, and get a read for how San Diego's coming out, because what do we see in college basketball over and over again? Tails of 2 halves. Hopefully it doesn't cost me any money, but that's the way that I'd look at it, Nelson.
Yeah, I like it. There you go, Nilo. There is a breakdown. We have a question from Elio. He says, do you think the under 134 and an Elon team total over 70.5 makes sense?
Yeah, I think that I'm expecting a blowout. So then by basic logic, I would say that, yeah, we're going to get an Elon offensive performance, and then we're going to get a Kennesaw lack of performance from an offensive perspective. That's what I expect mostly in these types of blowout games. And at 70 points with what they've been able to do against tougher defensive teams, I think that you're on the right spot there. And Illinois Chicago's opened up the half with a 3-point make, so they're up 15 right now.
Question from our guy, Take It Easy, wondering if you like the under 73 in the second half.
Well, not with seeing 5 points in the first 35 seconds. That's why you gotta watch it live. This game could be still going over. If you're seeing something full game under 144 and a half, I'd be jumping on that right away. But now seeing at 148, I'm a little hesitant to tell you to pull the trigger.
All right. Thank you for that. Sorry, DM. Okay, let's keep rolling along. The next spot on Maxie's card is the Kansas State under 124. Kansas State under 124. Where is that game? I was breaking that down earlier. What the hell's wrong? Oh, there we go. Kansas State, Florida A&M opened up at 125, now down to 123. Max got in at 124. Break down why you like this under, Max.
Yeah, this is a spot where I think that K-State definitely is going to be able to take control of the pace, control the glass, and I think that they're going to be able to do a good job of turning Florida A&M over. Florida A&M is no pushover by any means, but they're going up against a class of competition that I think is just out of their class. MJ Randolph and Rod Melton Jr. are solid pieces, but you got to get some good perimeter scoring from them to have any chance of staying in this game. I think that Kansas State, with guys like Carter Diarra and Antonio Gordon, they're able to play good enough perimeter defense, force Florida A&M into mistakes. And with K-State, this is a team that shoots 63% from the line. They shoot under 30% from the three-point line. They're not a team that's going to be flashy. I expect K-State to maybe put up 65 points and hold Florida A&M to maybe under 55. So as far as a spread, I don't know if I'd be looking to back K-State in this. I think it's a Florida A&M spot. But when it came to the total, with the three-point shooting, with the three-point defense, with the lack of free throw shooting, it's like, well, I got to take a shot with the under here. It was the right spot. On a card when I look at a lot of numbers overnight and I think over, well, those are the times that I have to dig deeper, look harder, and really take my biases out of it, because this is a game where we should be going under, and the number says so.
All right, let's keep rolling along. The next stop is a play that both Maxwell Smart and Matt Randall are on. They are both backing South Dakota at a big plus price tonight. Now, in the morning show, we saw money coming in on South Dakota, so we saw 12.5. Those are gone. It opened at minus 13. It's still at minus 13 at 5 times. Pinnacle's moved it to 13.5. Heritage Intertops are also at 13.5. This total opened up at 141. Bet Online's been hanging this 138 at minus 135 all day, daring people, or just not wanting anyone to take the over, but not moving up the number. Very interesting what BetOnline's done with this game. It's led by Pinnacle up at 141, and Max is on South Dakota at plus 13, minus 105. The reasoning was from Matt Randall was Washington's lack of perimeter defense, and that was something that it was interesting because Teddy was saying their numbers were different. They had different numbers for what they're allowing three-point wise. Why are you backing South Dakota at plus 13?
Yeah, I got to back South Dakota because this is a situation where South Dakota is going to come in, see what Washington's done recently to Montana and San Diego, and they're going to try and avoid the setup. I think that some people may be looking at Washington recently with their offensive output and say, well, this is a team that is coming together, becoming more cohesive. There definitely is a good argument to that. Neziah Carter, Jay-Z's nephew, he's the key to the offense. I know obviously Jaden McDaniels and Isaiah Stewart get a lot of the press, but you can isolate them and take them out of the offense with a good freaking front court plan. I think that with Washington, it's going to be dependent on the guard situation. And with Nazem Carter, he's the guy with the ball in his hands. He's the guy that's pushing off a freaking defensive rebound. He's the one getting into the paint and getting to the free throw line. So unless that boy is getting freaking his shots and getting his shots at a high percentage, I don't know if I want to take that number against a South Dakota team that shoots the three ball very well, has 3 solid scores, and they have the continuity and on-court chemistry that Washington doesn't have. This is a team still trying to learn Mike Hopkins' Syracuse zone. I'll give them that. But the fact is, Jaden McDaniels, Isaiah Stewart look good, and they're looking for a down game. I think that this is a spot where I don't know if South Dakota can win the game outright. Anything's possible, but I do think that they can hang within the number. And if not, then that just proves that Washington better, and that looks better for your future, Jim.
Yes, we're Flash and I are very excited about the futures that you put us on. Max put us on big long shots with Maryland, LSU, and Washington, 33-1, 50-1, and 70-1, and we are very excited about them. All three could get in the tourney, and man, would that ever be wild fun. We put $100 each, so $200 on each bet, and it's just fun, really fun action. So thank you for putting us on there. There's South Dakota plus 13. So we have Matt Randall, Maxwell Smart, both on this plus 13. Noli Nose grabbed the under 140.5 last night. What do you think of this under? It opened at 141.5. 5 times it's dropped at a point to 140.5.
Yeah, if I was taking Washington, then I would be looking towards the under. But because I'm on South Dakota, I got to look at it from the over perspective. I got to look at the fact that this is a team that shoots 38% from the three-point line on the road. They hit 73% of their free throws. They hit almost 50% of their shots, and they're putting up close to 75 points a game. I respect Washington's defense, but the youth and the lack of knowing this 2-3 zone against the continuity and the three-point shooting and the ball movement for South Dakota is just something I can't ignore. Listen, I'll take the loss. It happens, boys. You guys have seen me take some dirty losses. So this could be a spot where I just read completely wrong. But my money's on it. It's official pick. And I'll ride till I die with it.
All right. I like it. The next spot on Max's card, and then we'll start breaking down each and every game and see what additions he's making, is another under. So Max is on 4 unders on this card. And Furman is one of them. Furman, South Florida, under 131. It's still there. Heritage hanging at 131.5. Every other book at 131. Why are you on this under?
So this is an under where I think that Furman, the impression that they're given is that they're going to be offensively efficient. I don't think that they're going to have that type of success against South Florida tonight. I think that South Florida and Furman both play very good defense. It's indicative by their under 60 points a game that they're allowing. I think that Furman definitely has been in a couple rock fights this year. They had a tough game against Alabama. They had that tough comeback against UTA about 5 days ago. I think that tonight they're going to be ready to go. I think that this South Florida team is trying to figure out what their new identity is. A lot of focus was going to be offensively with Alexis Yetna, him being the offensive catapult down low and then being a rebounding freaking guru and being able to help the transition get started. I think Michael Durr's definitely tried to step into that role, but I don't think he's there yet. He's coming off a nice 8 for 11 game, but he's not playing even 30 minutes a game. I think Justin Brown, he's the X factor for South Florida, and if he's having a bad three-point shooting game, that helps the under. I look for South Florida to really frustrate Jordan Lyons on defense. I look for Jordan Lyons to be a volume shooter in this game, and when it comes to free throws, I don't trust USF. They don't even hit 60% of their free throws. And I trust Furman's three-point defense on the road where they're not allowing teams to shoot more than 25%. When it comes to a side, I actually did make an official pick, Jim, on Furman -3. I believe it was overnight or early on this morning. But as far as the under, this is a spot where I think that USF gets their type of tempo, their pace of play. But I do think that Furman finds a way to get out on top and be able to play to their style and be able to get that 3 or 4 point cover. I got them at -3, so at -4, I still would be looking to take it, but there's a shitload of money on Furman and even more larger amount of tickets.
I like it. Sorry, I did just find your Furman -3. Your Furman -3 is also on a tweet where you've doubled up in the Delaware game. A lot of people want to talk about this Columbia-Delaware spot. You grabbed Delaware -6.5 and -110, and also the under 138. And it's 138 at Pinnacles, 137.5 in most of the other books. Delaware is now a 7-point favorite, still 6.5 at Bet Online. Why are you backing Delaware? Why do you like the under?
Yeah, so Delaware obviously is coming off the first ATS loss of the season. It was a heartbreaking backdoor cover by University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I was on the wrong side of that, but I'm getting back on the horse with this Delaware team. This is a game that they are playing with, that Columbia's playing with revenge. They lost 87-86 last year at home, and Mike Smith was the catalyst for that team, and he's the catalyst this year. He's coming off, he had a 40-point game last year against them. He's coming off a 30-point game in his last game against Lehigh. That was a 4-point win, but not a cover. And I think that he's going to have to be on that type of offensive performance tonight because he's going up against a Delaware team that is different. If Theo Horton, Eric Carter, they're gone. So now you have to deal with Nate Darling. You have to deal with Ryan Allen. You have to deal with Justin Mutz. I think tonight Delaware is ready for Columbia, knows what they're dealing with, even though Columbia is now without Gabe Stefani and Quinda Delish, who's in USC. I think tonight we see Delaware take advantage of the fact that they have such a margin with field goal, free throw shooting. They shoot close to 80%, where Columbia shoots close to 60%. Mike Smith definitely is going to be the guy that makes or breaks whether we cover this spread or whether we keep the total under. He's shooting 46% from three-point range. He's averaging 21%, but he's only shooting 66% from the free throw line. I expect this game to be close for a little bit, but I do expect Delaware to be able to pull it off and pull away in the second half. It was a play that I'm taking because when Delaware has been as good to me in the early season, it's similar to Valpo 2 years ago. I'm just going to keep on riding them until I see a change in the number and I see the odds makers adjust to where they have the advantage. As far as the total, Jim, this was a number that I wanted to hit before I thought they would move down. So this is a spot where I will be looking to get on a live over if I see the pace and tempos dictating it.
I love it. I love it. And there's another spot that Matt Randall is on the under with Max. Max, so you're thinking about taking a live over, but that's not a sign of you not being confident on the full game under pregame.
No, it's not being a sign of not being confident. It's just being aware of what the historical aspect is. Like, these teams have been able to turn up the volume when it comes to scoring against each other in the second halves of games. I just want to be aware and see what's going on because I don't want to get caught with my pants down, take away my eye for a minute. 15 minutes later, it's a 20-point difference in the live total. Unless it's going down, then I'm happy, but the other way around, you got to be aware. You got to be watching these games. You got to be watching these lines because why take a loss, if you can freaking even out and just lose juice?
I hear you. I am going to tail this under that both Matt Randall and Maxwell Smart are on. The Columbia, Delaware under. This will be the second addition to my card. Let's see the best line I can get here. Line shopping, SBRodds.com, is a 138 at -112. That's available at Pinnacle. I'm going to grab that right now. So Delaware under 138 at -112. So those are Max's plays that he locked in earlier today. North Florida under 144.5 -106. Elon under 135 at -105 with Elon -7 at -110. K-State under 124 at -110. South Dakota +13 at -105. That's a spot that our Matt Randall is on as well. And I tailed the under in Elon, and Noli Knowles called that a dead under. Furman under 131 at -110. Delaware -6.5 -110. Delaware under 138 -110. And Furman -3 at -110. All right. There you have it. Jeff Billings says, can you ask Max what he thinks about Clemson? Yes, we have two big games, bigger games than the other ones. One's Clemson, Minnesota. One's Miami, Illinois. Jeff wants to start with this Clemson, Minnesota spot. We talked a little bit about it with Teddy Covers on the morning show, but I'm very excited to hear what you think of this spot. Minnesota opens up at -3. They've been there all day. This total opened up at 131. It's been there all day. What do you think of backing Clemson against Minnie here tonight?
Yeah, I think that this is a good spot to take the dog in Clemson. I think that we've seen Clemson play decent. I think that we've seen the lineup really assert itself. They are playing a little starter heavy, but I'm impressed with Almir Dawes, liking what he's doing at the point guard position. He's comes in, gives you 5 or 6 assists a game. He can drive to the bucket and get you a bucket when you need it. But when it comes down to with Clemson for me is, what are we getting out of Johnny Newman III? If we're getting a good performance out of Johnny Newman III, then they have a chance to win this game. But if he's going to get into early foul trouble and be on the bench, you take away a serious score to go along with Tevin Mack and his inefficiency when it comes to offense. Obviously, with Amir Sims, you're going to have a serious matchup against Daniel Oturo. But I think that they're going to have the advantage against a guy like Marcus Carr and Peyton Willis, who may not play. Peyton Willis is important. I think that with his leg injury, that takes away one of the most lethal three-point shooters on this Minnesota team. And what we've seen from them early on in the season, this is a team that struggles to score. This is a team that can play very good defense and frustrate you and take you off your game. But this is a team that still hasn't shown to me that they can really take it to you. The free throw shooting is definitely a concern. I think that Minnesota is just getting a lot of love because they're in the Big Ten and everyone views the ACC as being down. In these types of premier conference matchups, I like to take the dog, and I'd be looking at Clemson. It's not a play for me yet, as it starts at 9 o'clock and the line hasn't moved. But that would be my lean right now, and I'd be looking towards the over also. I think that this is just too small a number. I don't see this game staying. I don't see this game staying under 130. If this was in the 140 range, that's a different story.
Interesting. And watch us live on the live line to find out. I got a giant bottle of Jameson with me this evening. There's Jonathan Suchi joining us. We got Trot Wham in the house. Red Girl joining us as well. Love you guys. Canascat in the house. Okay, so now the other big game is Miami, Illinois. Illinois opened up at -8, and Teddy Covers on the morning show said, look, if I can get Miami at 9, I'll probably get to the window with them. And Matt Randall loving Illinois at -8. I believe that's what Matt got it at. Let me just double check that right now. Yes, he got Illinois at -8. What do you think of this spot, Miami, Illinois? This total opened up at 146.5 down to 145.5. And Pinnacle leading the way. They're the only 9.5 on the board for Illinois. Miami, Illinois, Max.
This Illinois spot's a hard spot for me to get on. I think that it's a big number, and I respect a lot of these cappers that are taking Miami. But if you're going to twist my arm and put me on a play, I don't think that Kofi Cockburn is going to be stopped at any point during the night by Rodney Miller Jr. I think that this Miami team has a fouling issue. I think that we have to take notice of the fact that Chris Likes is definitely not having the type of offensive season that we anticipated. He's only shooting 41% from the field, 12.9% points per game. This is a guy that we anticipated scoring in the 20s. This is a guy that we thought that was going to be over 40% from the three-point line. I worry about Chris Likes. Obviously, you got McGusty, you got the European dude. I can't remember his name and can't pronounce it, so I won't try. But this is a game where I think that Illinois doesn't rely on the three-point shot. They take it to the rim. They get to the free throw line. They have more offensive weapons. They have a dominant big man. They have rim protection, and they're going to win on the glass. This is a team that has a lot of 50% field goal scores, and that just screams to me that they know where to get to their spots. They know how to pass the ball to an open guy, and they're going to be more offensively responsible than this Miami team. If you're asking me, I got to take the points with Clemson. I got to take the points with Illinois. It's a big number, but for official show record purposes, I'm not going to take it. The only play I was looking at this game for my own bankroll, for my own accounts, was taking the under. I think that Illinois is going to be able to frustrate Miami. I think Miami is going to shoot a low percentage. And I think that Illinois is going to be able to run rampant on them. I think that they rout them. So,
Wow, that's an exciting game. People on either side in the chat. All right, let's move on to a spot where Noli knows the man who's making unders great again is on the over. That would be Manhattan Stony Brook. Open at 127.5, now at 128. Stony Brook opening up at -4.5, now up to -6 at some books. A 1.5 difference between U-Wager and Pinnacle. U-Wager down to 4.5, other books at 6. What do you think of Noli Knows on this over, and do you have any looks on Manhattan Stony Brook?
Yeah, this is an interesting spot for me because Manhattan definitely is trying to speed up the pace and play at a faster tempo, but offensively, they're just not very efficient. I think that there's definitely a lot of questions when it comes to their roster and the rotation. You have Warren Williams back. He's only playing 14 minutes a game, but he's giving you some production, almost 10 points a game. I don't know what's going on with Tyler Reynolds. The shooting slump hasn't subsided. He's still shooting under 30% from the field in the three-point line, and his minutes are shrinking by the game. I think now we've seen the emergence of Nakai Green. He's come in, he's getting you 7 rebounds, he's getting you 13 points a game. I think him and Samir Stewart at the guard spot with size, because they both have good size, I think that they're going to be able to frustrate Stony Brook's guards. Stony Brook obviously isn't going to have Akawasi Yeboah, and this is the game with revenge for Manhattan. I think that Manhattan comes in, and I think that they steal this game. I think that you definitely have to show some respect to Malachi Foreman and Elijah Olani because they're doing shit offensively. They hit their free throws. They're hitting a decent enough three-point percentage. But in this spot, it's hard for me to pass up the dog in the revenge situation. Obviously, we have to look at why Stony Brook was able to win that game last year, and that's because Manhattan committed 32 fouls, or 3 for 20 from the three-point line. I think that they improved that tonight. I'm going to take a shot with Manhattan plus 5.5. And if Noli says that he's on the over in the game, we saw how that worked out in the Villanova-LaSalle game. Put me on that. Let's make it official. I'm doubling up, slide and total, Jim.
Wow, there we go. All right, we're going to start with the over because I'm going to tail that with you and Noli knows. Let's get it right now. Manhattan Stony Brook, we can get an over 128 at -110. So let's add that to Max's action right here. That is the Stony over 128 at -110. And I will be tailing that Stony over 128 at -110. Then you also want to back Manhattan. So let's see what the best line, because there's a lot of different lines here on this spot. You want +6 at -110. That's available at both Intertops and 5 dimes. +6 at -110.
Sign me up, Jim.
There we go, Manhattan. +6 at -110. All right, we are rolling. We are rolling right now. Let's keep going down this list and make sure that we touch on each and every game. NC Central against Wofford. Wofford opening up as 16-point favorites. They are at some books still. There's some 15.5s on the board. There are some 15s on the board. Main man Lizo says, what time does the live line start? It starts in 45 minutes, right? It starts at 7:15 Eastern in 45 minutes. I'm looking forward. There's Noli Knows in the house. Says, let's get it, fellas. I love it, Noli. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so the next spot on the card, NC Central Wofford. This total open at 132. It's still there. There are 131s at Pinnacle, and Wofford, big home favorites. What do you think of this spot for Wofford? Are you making the move on this game?
Yeah, this is an interesting spot. I got to look at the dog in this spot completely because what I've seen from Wofford is that they just aren't as offensively brass-balled as they were last year. Let's just put it that way. First off, you have Nathan Hoover. He was shooting 26% from the three-point line, and he was shooting close to 50% last year. He's still giving you 15 points a game, and he still has some help in Trevor Stump and Storm Murphy. But Trevor Stump's my difference maker for this team. You know, he's only averaging 5.5 points a game, but he is shooting 42% from the three-point line. The issue for Wofford in covering these big spreads, although they were able to cover 18.5 points versus University of Maryland Eastern Shore 5 days ago, I think that distribution issues are going to plague them. I think that there is a issue with getting the ball around, getting the ball to guys in better positions to take shots. A lot of ISO, a lot of passes with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Anybody that plays basketball knows if you got a teammate that's giving you the ball with under 6 seconds on the shot clock, he's not giving you enough time to freaking put your work in, make your move to the bucket. I think that with NCCU, you have Jabari Blunt, you have Randy Miller Jr. They're averaging 30 points combined. The free throw shooting is decent, not completely even, but close enough to it that I won't take it into consideration in my capping. And I think that they could shoot the basketball with this Wofford team. I think that we've seen from NCCU that the games that they go over are the games that they get blown out. If they get blown out tonight, I think Wofford covers, obviously, and the game goes over. I think that NCCU stays in this game, stays within the number, and therefore I'd be also leaning towards the under.
There you have it. But no official plays on this NC Central Wofford game.
Let me have a look first at the first half. I have a number written down here. I would be looking at Wofford on the first half, if anything, but I'd have to be able to get 8.5 or less.
I can. Oh yes, I can give you. There's 8.5 at Heritage at -110, 8.5 at 5 Dimes at -115.
Okay, let's take it.
Let's take it. All right. There we have it. Wofford first half at -8.5. Wofford first half -8.5 at -110 for my man Maxwell Smart. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Jay Peach, Minnesota +3. I'm a huge believer in Minnesota. Jay Peach, what do you think about Thielen being out? I'm very close to taking the Minnesota +3 at -125. I'm very close. There's my guy Ganjapreneur in the house. Maxie, the next game on our card is Navy Bryant University. You've had a great read on Bryant all year long, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this spot. Bryant University opening up at -2.5. They're down to 1.5 at Pinnacle. This total opening up at 135 is up to 137.5 at 5 Dimes. But 5 Dimes leading the charge towards the over. They're the highest number on the board. Navy, Bryant, Max, a move here?
Yeah, this is a spot where actually I'm looking to get on Navy. I understand it's a revenge game for Bryant, but the fact is they're trying to still work Sebastian Towns back into the lineup. And now with Aikina Ndugba coming back from injury, there's a whole bunch of clogged pipes at the frickin' guard position. You got a lot of guard depth with Michael Green Jr., the freshman point guard. You got Charles Pride. You got Adam Grant. I think that this Bryant team may be coming apart a little when it comes to who's the top dog and who takes what shots when. I think that Navy's rolling right now, and we saw that when they went into Brown and beat them. They beat them by goddamn 20. And I think that when you get a performance like that from John Carter and Cam Davis, you have to wonder, are you going to get it 2 games in a row? Because what we learned from Navy last year was they are very streaky. And when they start getting on a roll, they can knock off 2 or 3 underdog ticket winners. And I think in this spot tonight, I got to look at Navy. I'm not going to make an official pick just because I have been pretty loyal to Bryant. But by the time I get off the show, by the time this game starts, I will have money on Navy. What I will do for the pick, for the official show, I will actually fade this line movement. I will actually go against it. I'll say that we're definitely looking at Bryant's numbers that are a little inflated. 1 overtime game against University of New Hampshire, 116 offensive output performance for Linden. I think tonight we get a little bit of a slower pace. We get a little bit of a less offensive game. And I think that this number is just a little too high, and I got to disagree with the line movement. I will take into consideration what happened last year, but I just don't think that these guys are going off for 101 points in the second half like they did. There's no way in my mind that these teams are combining for, 40 freaking free throw makes? Just not happening.
So are you going against a market move in the total or the side?
I'm going against the total, but I will tell you guys I will be on Navy tonight. I'm just not I'm not thrilled enough about it at the number that it is to make it official for the show's record.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So it's up to 137.5 and minus 110 at 5 dimes. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a addition from Max. He's on the Navy under 137.5 at minus 110. All right, let's keep rolling through. Next up, North Texas against UT Texas Arlington. The total opened up at 119.5. It's up to 122. Let me get the spread up here as well. There's my guy Ronnie Christie in the house. Ronnie Christie says an under in the Patriot League. We'll see. With the Patriot League team. Okay, with the Patriot League team. Texas Arlington opening up at minus 7, now down to 5.5. Max, you making a move in this North Texas UT Arlington spot?
Well, just to let Ronnie Christie know, there was 2 unders in the Patriot League yesterday, so we can't avoid these unders. But usually, if you get a number between 135 and 143 in the Patriot League, it's going to go over. But as far as this North Texas UTA game, Jim, this is an interesting game. It's an in-Texas rivalry. North Texas definitely has been I would say putrid on offense this year. Umaja Gibson's definitely one of the nice shining points for this team. And their best front court player is Dank Gao, the North Dakota State transfer. So I'm interested to see how they go up against Brian Warren in his new distribution role on offense, and David Azori, and hopefully his hotter three-point shooting. I think that UTA definitely would be the look that I'd be trying to make as far as a spread, and I'd also be looking at the over. I think that we missed the best of the line. I think it opened at 118 or 119. Now I'm seeing it at 122s and 123s. Probably missed the best of the value there, but I still think that this game goes over and hits at least 130.
Do you want to make either of those official plays?
Yeah, no, actually I won't, because I have to respect the line value and not take the asset of the line on the show.
All right, we have one game left on the docket, that being Florida Atlantic against St. Bonaventure. The Bonnies open up at -2. They're up to 4.5 at 5 dimes. Heritage and 5 dimes leading the charge towards backing the Bonnies. This total opened up at 122. It's at 123 at Pinnacle. It's at 125 at Bookmaker. You rarely see them 2 points apart. FAU, St. Bonnies.
Jim, let me ask you a question. Is FAU on the bottom or is FAU on the top in this game?
The top.
Well, they should be on the bottom because this game is being played at home in FAU's gym. And FAU, they finally got a decent offensive performance out of Jalen Ingram. He only played 19 minutes, but he had 10.6 rebounds, a steal, and only 2 fouls. I think tonight, St. Bonaventure is my team. I love Bona Nation. I partied with them with Al Mack over at the James Naismith Classic. I love Osana Suni. He's back. He's commanding the ball, played 35 minutes. He was just close to the rim every time that he got a shot attempt last night, and he had 6 goddamn blocks. But this is a situation where I think that a lot of people are taking and steam this game up. This game was pick 'em when it opened. I don't understand why Florida Atlantic's not getting the kind of respect that they should at home. This is the Florida Atlantic team that dispatched Holy Cross. They survived against UIC. I think tonight against St. Bonaventure runs into a little bit of a tougher test. I think that tonight Florida Atlantic not only covers the spread, I think that they win this championship and win it on their home floor. So, Jim, I'm going to take Florida Atlantic +4. I'm going to take Florida Atlantic money line. And I'm going to take Florida Atlantic money line my play of the day.
Wow. All right, let's get this. And you're absolutely right. It is in Boca Raton. Wow, I've got to talk with the SBR odds guys to let them know that that is wrong. You're absolutely right. FAU 4-0 on their home card. St. Bonnie's 0-2 on the road. Let's get you the best look. So we were doubling up and... Okay, so we're doubling up. So the first is the point spread. Let's grab this right now for our Maxwell Smart. First is backing Florida Atlantic at +4. We can give you +4.5 at -103. Can you believe that? +4.5 -103 at 5 dimes, Max.
Oh, I can easily believe this. The impression people have of St. Bonaventure now that Osuni's back is that they're going to just start smashing people in the mouth. But I think that they're going up against a tough team that's long, athletic, and has depth. So,
Ooh.
Let's go, Florida Atlantic Owls.
And here we go. The play of the day is Florida Atlantic on the money line. And you're getting a huge number at both Will Hill and 5 Dimes, plus 175 for Max. Florida Atlantic plus 175 is the play of the day. The play of the day. Now, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to tail the spread. I'm going to tail the spread here. Okay, sorry. Let me move that here. I'm going to tail the spread. So edit, copy. I'm going to put that right here. And there you have it. Max's play of the day. Right there. Max's play of the day. So I am tailing 4 of Max's looks on this card. The under 134.5 in Elon. The Delaware under 138 at minus 112. The Stony Brook over 128 minus 110. And Florida Atlantic plus 4.5 minus 103. But you just heard here, Florida Atlantic plus 175 on the money line is the spot. And Ron Lofton says, nice. Let's get this FAU money line. Max Deerslayer Ski says, FAU it is. And Ramon Scott said it isn't wrong. It's just that it is a tournament, and for listing purposes, FAU is listed on top. Boca Raton Beach Classic. Okay, thank you, Ramon. Perfect. And Jay Peach says the play of the day is this fat dab that he's about to hit. Hey, we can all win. We can all win with Jay Peach's play of the day. Okay, I love it. Arthur Mead Jr. says Florida Atlantic. Yes. Wow, I love it. Very, very exciting. Oh, there was one more thing. Gondrepreneur says Bonnie's was the last leg of my 16 parlay I cashed last night. Well, I like it. I like it. There we go. So, repeating Max's action. Steve Overlay, we're going to talk for a couple more minutes. I've got to run, but I'm not necessarily off the over. I just have yet to decide exactly how I'm going to handle this game. I've yet to decide exactly how I'm going to handle it, but I'm not necessarily off why am I concerned? Look at all these great cappers in the chat that are on the under. I guess that's, and we're watching the market move down. And so I feel like the best angle I have right now is the Vikings plus 3. But I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, let's make a move here. This is Max's action. Play of the day, Florida Atlantic plus 175, but he's also on Florida Atlantic plus 4.5. Navy under 137.5. Wofford, first half minus 8.5. Manhattan plus 6. Stony Brook over 128. Delaware under 138. Furman minus 3. Delaware minus 6.5. Furman under 131. South Dakota plus 13. K-State under 124. Elon minus 7. Elon under 135. And North Florida under 144.5. There's Dominic Lara in the house. Thank you for that sentiment. It meant so much to me and my family, and I'm very thankful to be back with you guys. There you have it. If you want to see Max's live plays, watch the live line tonight. And if you want to get Max's looks before anybody else, follow him on Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. Max, my friend, I'm very excited to be hanging with you guys tonight, and it's been a very heavy week for my family, and just to let the shoulders down and have some fun with you guys. Can we get a little inside information on what you will be snacking on in this big game tonight?
Well, I actually will be going to my Leclerc cookies. Okay. I will get my gushers so Jay can make comments about the gushers splashing in my mouth. And I will definitely have lots of Allen's apple juice because apple juice is good to me. Obviously, I dilute it with water because I don't want to get diabetes before I'm 40. Oh,
you're a good man. You're a good man, Max. Thank you for allowing us the gushers. I like it. I like it very much. Okay, Max, could you please do us the honor, the great honor of introducing to us a man who did not share the screen enough last week because I was gone, but he's back in action right now. Could you please introduce Freddie Fortune?
Absolutely. Guys, it's Monday. It's Monday Night Football time. It's college basketball time. And you know what other time it is? It's Freddie Fortune time. I'll bring to you the one and only Freddie Fortune.
Hey, Jimmy the Bear.
Hello, Freddie.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing? It's okay.
Test. Yeah, I think the audio is fine.
Okay.
I'm doing well.
You are?
Yeah,
Sure,
I
you want to
think
come
so.
over this way? Sure.
Oh, no worries. I can.
No,
go.
no, please, make yourself comfortable.
Yeah. Well,
How was last week?
it sucked. You were not in the office, and I was very sad.
Oh, how was the Christmas party?
Oh, it was great. I won a $40 gift card
Oh, nice. For what?
for whatever I want.
Oh, so it's just
Yeah.
like a
40
credit card, like
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Congratulations on all your successes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I heard you did come on the show one time. And
Yeah.
you gave it a play. How did that play?
Well, it lost.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, it was Spanish futsal. It was Inter Movistar first half plus 137. But it lost. But I got two plays for you today since it's your first time in a week.
Thank
in
you.
Here I brought a very special play.
Oh, sweet. What is it?
Well, first is Swedish bandy.
Oh, Swedish
Yeah.
Bendy!
Yeah.
Bendy!
Yeah, it's Hammarby at minus 134. That's an easy play over Vannersborg. And I got
And for
something-
those that are watching that don't know Bandy, can you explain a little bit about the
No,
Bandy?
They should research
On
themselves.
their own? You
Yeah.
keep it mysterious?
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And your next spot?
Is sailing. It's a yacht.
Sailing.
Yacht. It's yacht or how do I say it?
It's yacht.
Oh, yacht. I'm sorry. I just read in English. I don't know how to speak.
No, it's great. Yacht is great.
Okay, it's a race called Sydney to Hobart,
Okay.
which is in Australia, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
All right.
I got you the favorite, which is Comanche, at plus 160.
At plus 160 in this big yacht race.
Yeah, I feel happy today.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, thank you for sharing your yacht racing with us and your Swedish Bendy.
You sound like Flash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're screaming like Flash.
Is he was Bendy?
No, when he's excited, he's all, "Oh, Freddy!" Or I don't know.
But you
he'll-
guys have come a long way. You guys are friends now.
Yeah, we're friends now.
You still privately hate him.
No.
Okay. All right. There he is. Shaft, don't get him started. Please don't get him started. There
what?
he is. Oh,
What did he say?
he says that your lips are dry. Your lips look dry. Oh, God. Oh,
are.
God. Here he is, Freddie Fortune, giving you some Swedish Bendy and a yacht race in Australia. Well, I hope you get back to your winning ways.
Thank you. I need to close the show since Rafa just quit.
Yeah, Rafa
But-
just left.
No, he quit.
No, he's at the live line. He's doing
No.
the live line.
He sucks.
Okay, great stuff. Did he say yacht racing? Yes, he did.
Fuck you!
Whoa,
I don't know
whoa,
English.
Whoa, whoa,
Oh my God.
whoa!
It's not my first language.
Whoa, it's okay. Whoa. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. To go over my action, it's all first period. Other than the over 5.5, which I didn't make a move on there. Sean Shokri in the house. Thank you for joining us, Sean. I didn't bet the over 5.5 because it was minus 130 at my book, but I got it minus 115 for show purposes. Blues, Blackhawks, over 5.5. So that is a play I gave that I didn't bet. Here are the ones that I did bet. I'm on in NHL, Rangers first period at plus 110 and the Red Wings first period at plus 150. In the National Basketball Association, I'm on 3 plays. Jazz first quarter money line at plus 140. Then I'm on the Knicks first quarter plus 5.5 minus 107. And I'm on the Bulls first quarter money line plus 129. I'm going to make a decision in the next hour and a half about how to handle this NFL game, and I look forward to hanging with you guys. Please join us. Live line pops off in 27 minutes. I will be sitting beside Flash along with Ant, Max, and Jay, star of the Sports Keg. I'm very thankful to be back with you guys, man. Truly am. Life can be very tough and twists and turns that you don't expect and things that you hope for don't happen. But knowing that you guys, that I can hang with you guys each day really brings a lot of joy to myself. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. And thank you for all the well wishes for my family. It means the world to me. I can't wait to hang with you guys tonight. I got a bottle of Jameson ready to go. And I'm very close. I think I'm going to pull the trigger at least on the Vikings plus 3. I'm going to make that move soon. Much love to you guys, but most importantly, Leche! Hey, los bookmakers!